energizer and then do the main topic. थोड़ा दीपक जी कर दीजिए,
Energizer
थोड़ा सा
वो
एक्सरसाइज
करेंगे
करा दीजिए.
बिल्कुल ये Energizer से अच्छा एक छोटा सा गेम खेलेंगे जहाँ सब लोग एंजॉय करते हैं. We'll do that.
Yeah. So by the time people will join, na?
Oh yes, yes.
So
Okay, so good evening and a very, very, very warm welcome each one of you for joining us today here at Power Up Speaker Series by Premraj. We have with us today Deepak Khemani, and of course, as usual, we are very excited with yet another brilliant topic, yet another brilliant session, yet another brilliant session of learnings for all of us here. So thank you each one of you for joining in. Thank you, Premraj ji, for doing this on public demand, second series of the speaker series. And thank you, Deepak ji. It's always a pleasure talking to you. The other day when I called you, you're such a great energy that we are just, waiting to listen to you and what you have to give us today. So thank you for being here. My name is Jaya Obhan and I'm the founder of Power Up. Power Up is a community for entrepreneurs where we come in together, we generate a lot of opportunities for business, we collaborate, we develop business for each other, we do marketing, and that's how we grow our businesses. So scaling up and doing our businesses in a more professional, in a more marketable manner is what we look at. And the vision of this group is to enhance our businesses. So I have this mantra wherein I say, "Kaam pe lag jao." So, one that can stay busy, one that can have a lot of work is what we look at. And that's what has happened in the last 2 months. We've had some very good opportunities amongst the group, wherein each of us had, given each other businesses. We met, we did a lot of collaboration, so many marketing events happened, and it was a great opportunity for us also to grow. So thank you everybody. There are a lot of members also here who are joining in and you're already there. So this group is because of its members, and we have some beautiful people in our group, and I'm very, very happy for them to be with us. Thank you all the members also who are here today. Having said that, I would like to introduce Premraj ji first. Premraj is an author and a futurist speaker on leadership and management. He has spent 37 years in banking with experience in public and private sector. He was also the CEO of the BPO arm of a leading private sector bank. Premraj is the co-author of 3 books. All 3 books hit the #1 spot on Amazon best-selling list. Views expressed by Premraj have been published in Economic Times, Business Standard, Financial Express, Indian Express, Mumbai Mirror, and other periodicals. Premraj hails from Mumbai and resides with his wife, son, daughter-in-law, mother-in-law, and pet cat-in-law. I like that, pet cat-in-law. So over to you, Premraj, and we are all excited, and let's start this session. Yes, there you go.
Thank you, Jaya. Thanks for that kind introduction.
My pleasure.
Let me now introduce the speaker that we have today. Deepak is an influencer in the personal finance space with a glowing track record in excess of 35 years. He's a life member of the prestigious $1 Million Roundtable, that's the MDRT of USA, a distinction conferred on very few insurance advisors. He has been invited to speak at various prestigious BFSI events. He has spoken on the TEDx Gateway Unplugged stage twice. He is the author of 2 books, about one which we will discuss today. Welcome to the show, Deepak, the compounding mentor.
Thank you, Premraj, for that very kind introduction. Just like everybody else, I am also a learner, trying to help out whatever way I can with whatever little experience of 35 years which I have got. Thank you for having me, Jaya, and thank you, Premraj, for having me over here.
Thanks, Deepak. That's very kind of you. So shall we start? Deepak, for generations, your family has been in the business of personal finance. Can you please let our audience know a bit about you and money management?
So My father has been in financial services since 1963. This is before I was even born. Okay. And in those days, the only thing to invest was LIC policies. उस ज़माने में और कुछ भी नहीं होता था. So that is how he started out. The day I became 18 years old, he took me to the LIC office and he said, आज से ये सब तुमको करना है. So that is where I passed my exam. That is where I learned what money management, financial services, financial products, investment options are there. But my calling was somewhere else. I am an electronic engineer by qualification. So even though this was a family business, if you want to call it, I did my own thing. I continued doing my own thing. And here, because the exams were, I had to give the exam, I had to fill in the form, I had to do the signature. That is how I was connected, but I was actually interested in doing something else, which I kept on doing for a few years. Then there came a point where we had a considerable following, considerable collection of clients whom we have been servicing. And there, one day dad said, "Jo bhi kar rahe ho, band karo. Whatever you are doing, come over here. Anyhow, you know everything. You've given the exams. You are the face. Now start working on it also." So lock, stock and barrel, finished what we were doing. Usko sab chhod diya. Came into financial services, learned about all the various investment options, gave it to our clients. The very satisfying thing is, when you plan something for your client. Let's say his daughter was born and he said, "Do something for me so that when my daughter is 21, I can marry her." You started, suggested, he practiced, put on it, invested, and the day his daughter was about to be married, he comes with a box of sweets, with an invitation, thanks you for helping him reach that financial goal. That is the best feeling one has when you are in this journey. So just now, it's the third generation of our family. My father started, mother was involved, I'm there, and now my daughter is planning to join us and take it forward. So 3 generations of people are now, serving third generation of our clients. That is what we do, and that is what we have been doing from since 1963, 57 years.
Oh, that's nice. And as an aside, you're doing a great job, because there was on another platform, I was interviewing a finance professional. And when he saw Deepak as part of the audience, he did mention that Deepak was his guru, or someone he looked up to. So you're doing a great job. That is public recognition coming your way.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prem Raj.
Deepak, you call yourself as a compounding mentor. For better understanding, can you please explain the concept of compounding with a story?
Fantastic. Superb. This is what I love to, this is the story I love to tell everybody. But before I start, a few years ago, a relationship manager of mine, RM, in the BFSI space, came and met me and said, "You've been in this field so much. Even when I talk to you, I find that there is so much knowledge. Why don't you write a book?" So that thought came in, and how to start with a book better than starting with a story. So let me tell you this story. Some of us may have heard this and some of us may not have heard this. Let's listen to this story. Let's understand. And this story explains to us the basis of what compounding is. Compounding mentor. There is a quote by, most of us may have received this quote via social media or seen it, which found interest is the 8th wonder of the world. The one who understands it, earns it, and the one who doesn't pays for it. What does that actually mean? So let me start with this story. Many, many years ago, there was a king who ruled over his kingdom. His subjects were very, very happy with what he did. And he had a cute, lovely little daughter, this bundle of energy, always smiling, always dancing. Everybody in the kingdom loved this daughter, this little princess. However, for some time, suddenly she had become very, very sad. The king tried everything, talking to her, giving her some toys, taking her out in the garden, playing with her. Nothing changed. The queen sat down one day with the king and told the king, you are the king. Call out the kingdom. Anybody who can come and make our daughter laugh, you would give them whatever they asked for. The king made an announcement. This should go out to the kingdom, everyone. Come and try your luck. If you can make my daughter laugh, I will give you whatever you want. Now imagine the king saying, I will give you whatever you want. A lot of people came, some made funny faces, some said jokes, some said dance, some clowns from the circus came. Everybody, whoever possible, tried to make this princess laugh. Nothing happened. Now, on the edge of this kingdom, near the jungle, there stayed a poet with his family, who was going through some difficult days, and his wife heard this announcement from the king. She told the poet, you are a poet, you write really funny and sarcastic poems. Why don't you go and try your luck? He agreed, went to the king, and in the palace announced, I am here to make the princess laugh. Now by this time, almost everybody had tried and the king had given up, saying, it's possible that my daughter, for whatever reason, may never smile again. However, since this guy came up with confidence and he said, I will do it, they said, why not? Let's give it a try. So now the poet read out one of his very, very, really funny poems. And from out of nowhere, this little princess started dancing and jumping and clapping, and she became very, very happy. Just looking at her dancing and being very, very happy, the king, the whole palace was very, very happy. The king walked down the throne, came, embraced the poet and told him, you have made my day, you have made the princess laugh. Tell me what you want and I will give it to you. You want money, you want gold coins, you want jewelry, you want rubies, you want land, you want animals, just name what you want and I as the king assure you, I will give it to you. It's my word. The poet asked, are you really sure? He said, yes, I'm the king, I will give you whatever I want. The poet told the king, I don't want anything. All I want you to do is this. Bring in a chessboard and put 1 grain of rice on the first square. And on every square, you keep on doubling the number of grains of rice. So on the first square, there is 1 grain of rice. On the second square, there are 2 grains of rice. On the third square, there are grains of rice, and so on. That is all I need. The king thought for a moment and then said, I am ready to give you gold, coins, jewelry, animal, land, and you want grains of rice. He said, yes, my dear king, if this wish of mine is fulfilled, I will consider myself suitably rewarded. The king announced to his food minister, open the gates of the granary and fulfill this guy's wish. So they started. 1 grain on the first square, 2 grains on the second square, 4 grains on the third square, and so on. By the time they reached the 10th square, they had to put 512 grains of rice on the 10th square. Slowly, square by square, the number of grains needed kept on doubling. By the time they reached the 20th square, the number of grains was 5,24,288 grains on 1 square. By the time they could reach the halfway mark, we all know a chessboard has got 64 squares. By the time they could reach the 32nd square, they needed 214 crores, 74,83,648 grains of rice. By this time, all the stock of grains in the kingdom was over. They called for new grain stock from the nearby kingdom, and in 2 or 3 squares, all that stock got over. The king came down, folded his hands, asked for forgiveness. He said, I'm the king. I have promised you what you asked, but I am unable to fulfill my promise. Tell me something else. The poet said, no, I do not want anything else. All I wanted to show you and make you understand was the power of compounding. I do not have a job. I want you to please give me a job. And the king immediately gave him 2 positions in the kingdom. One, he made him the education minister of the state. This concept of power of compounding is not taught to us anywhere in school. Second, he made him the finance minister of that kingdom, because power of compounding works very, very well with money. That is the first place where we need to get to understand it. Of course, there are so many aspects to compounding during this course of this interview. We will try and go through that. I want all of you to answer one question. How many grains of rice do you think were needed to complete the 64th square? If you know the answer, do type in. If you know the answer, you could unmute yourself. I would love to listen to some answers if somebody knows. Let me be honest and confess, before writing this book about this story, I also had no idea of that answer. Can anybody, just type in the answer or say, yes, I know? I'll wait for 10 seconds. Otherwise, I'll tell you. It is a mind-boggling number. No, sir. Dr. Rao says no, sir. Okay. So, it's a 19-digit number. 19 digit. If you want the exact number, I will tell you. It is 9 quintillion, 223 quadrillion, 372 trillion, 36 billion, 854,775,808 only. Just the simple doubling of grain starting from 1 to 2 gives you a 19-digit number on the 64th square. This is what compounding is. This is what compounding does. I'm sure this is a great story. You will feel happy, but it really still doesn't get to a point where it explains what compounding can do for you. So I'll ask you another question. And this is related to what we heard, and I would love for everyone to participate. I'll give you 1 rupee, which doubles every day. And the other option is, I'll give you 1 crore rupees. Take 1 crore rupees or say bye-bye, or take 1 rupee every day, and I'm assuring you it will double for 31 days. Which one will you take and why? Please type in the chat or unmute yourself. Which one will you take? And if you tell me I will take the 1 rupee which doubles every day, I want you to know why. Because that has to have an answer. Anyone? So, 1 rupee every day. Thank you, Raina, for your answer. Anyone else? Dr. Jagannath says 1 rupee every day. So once you have heard that concept of 1 doubling on that 64 squares of the chessboard, I'm sure all of you have had the hint. What is the value of that 1 rupee which doubled every day on the 31st day? It is 107 crores. This is compounding. This is what compounding does. Compounding takes time. Whatever you are doing in life, if you're investing your money, give it time. If you are investing in friendships, give it time. If you are investing in exercise, give it time. If you are investing in your business, give it time. Everything in life, anything which you do which touches you is compounding. Over to you, Prem Raj.
Thanks, Deepak. An engrossing story.
Yes, yes.
I've heard the story from you a couple of times. I've read this in your book, but every time I come with the story, I find it mind-boggling, the power of compounding.
It is. It is.
And compounding is not only in money, it's in other spheres of our life too. Great story, Deepak.
Yes.
Thanks for that. As a professional money manager, any tips to our viewers on money handling to take advantage of the power of compounding?
Superb question. I was just waiting for this. Just before I answer this question, I want you to go back in life and imagine and then type it out. When was the first time you heard the word compound or compound interest or compounding in your life? When was the first time you heard it? And then I will share my story when I heard it the first time. Please share. Please type it out. In school, Raina says, 10 years back, Rajan says, okay. 9th standard maths book, 5th standard, fantastic, superb. Thank you all for those who are participating. Sometime in 8th standard, Dr. Rao says, okay. So, there is a formula of compound interest. If we remember, A is equals to P, open brackets, 1 plus R upon T, close brackets, raised to N. How many of us even remember this? What does it mean? We knew this formula, answered some questions in the mathematics question paper, and then we really forgot about it. I want you to go 1 or 2 standards before you did this compound formula. You heard the word compound somewhere else. Can anyone type compound? Chemistry class. Compounds. Yes, compound. Chemistry class. A compound is a mixture or a combination of 2 or more elements. Water is a molecule. It's a compound of 2 atoms of hydrogen, H2, and 1 atom of oxygen. If water did not have this compound value, if it wasn't a compound, there would have been no water. We couldn't have been drinking hydrogen and oxygen by mixing them together. Common salt, NaCl, sodium and chlorine. If they wouldn't have mixed to form salt, we wouldn't have been able to eat salt. The air we breathe is a mixture of hydrogen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, oxygen. If the air was only oxygen, this planet would have burnt up. If it was only hydrogen, we wouldn't have been able to breathe, we would have all been dead. So compounding is there everywhere else in life. Yes, Dr. Rao says something about the compounder, this was my next sentence. Thank you, Mr. Rao, for sharing. The very first time I read or thought about compounder was when we were children, we used to go to our doctor, our family doctor. The doctor used to sit inside and there used to be a compounder sitting in the cabin outside. The doctor used to write a prescription, give it to the compounder, and the compounder used to give us 9 tablets. 3 in the morning, 3 in the evening, 3 in the night. Compounder, 2 or 3 tablets mixing with each other to give the compound effect. If you would have taken only 1 tablet, your fever wouldn't have gone. He would have given you 2 or 3 tablets to take together. So compounding is nothing but getting together of 2 things, 2 elements. Coming back to compounding in the money space, the question you asked. So again, I'll give you a small example. I love to give this example, and I always ask this question, and every time I get a wrong answer. But even then, I would like to throw it to this audience. So let's say you have 100 rupees. You go to the bank, and you keep a fixed deposit in the bank for 10 years. And the bank says, I'll give you 10% every year. I know 10% is far-fetched, but just for understanding purposes. So you have 100 rupees, you went to the bank, gave the bank 100 rupees, bank said, I'll give you 10 rupees every year. What do you have after 10 years? Your original 100 rupees plus the 10 rupees which you got every year for the next 10 years, correct? So at the end of 10 years, you have 200 rupees. Now you go to the bank and tell them, don't give me this 10 rupees every year. Iska main kya karega? Just take that 10 rupees and put it back into the original 100 rupees which I had. Don't give me the 10 rupees every year. Okay, so what the bank does? At the start of the first year, you had 100 rupees. At the end of first year, you have now 110. At the end of the second year, now the bank has to pay you 10% on 110. So 110 ka 10%, 11 rupees. Now at the end of 2 years, you've got 121. At the end of the third year, you have 132. Slowly, this value is going on increasing. If I keep doing this for 10 years, at the end of 10 years, my 100 has become 259. Compounding. Let's make it a little bit more interesting. Let's add a little bit of more interest to this. So the bank is giving you 10 rupees after a year. You tell the bank, don't give me 10 rupees after a year. Give me 5 rupees after 6 months. ठीक है ना? Instead of giving me 10 rupees after a year, give me 5 rupees every 6 months. You take that 5 rupees after 6 months, add it back, and you get interest upon it. Now this 259 has become 260 plus just by doing this small bit. If I do this quarterly, I tell the bank, give me 2.5 rupees every 3 months. 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. 10%, correct? My 100 becomes 260. So just by doing this compounding bit, which we call cumulative interest, my 100, which was originally 200, yearly became 259, half yearly became 265, quarterly has become 269. Now comes to my question. Your 100 has become 269 after 10 years. After 20 years, how much will it become? 10 May, 100 became 269. I want you to guess, if you know, or if you can calculate without using a calculator, how much will it become after 20 years? 269 after 20 years. 1 or 2 replies, please, even if it is wrong. Mr. Rao, Saina, anyone? Okay, so let me break the suspense. Every time I ask this question, the first answer I get is double of 269. If 100 becomes 269 after 10 years, after 20 years it will become double. So Venkata says 800, so that is not the right answer. Thank you for sharing and trying. We need to understand that is not how compounding works. अगर 10 years में 269 होता है तो 20 में उसका double नहीं होगा, उससे ज़्यादा होगा. 269 becomes 720 after 2 years. That is what compounding does. That is what compounding is. The more you give time to compound, the more is the value. A few days back, most of you must have read this message. It was shared widely on social media. The market cap of Apple in the US crossed $2 trillion US. It took it some 25 or 28 years to grow to 1 trillion. But from 1 trillion to 2 trillion, it took it only 2 years. Something which has been nurtured, which is growing, towards the end when compounding happens, starts jumping. The maximum gains of compounding happens during the later years, always. So this is what compounding is. This is what compounding does. Whatever you do in life, give it time. Prem Raj.
Yeah. Thanks, Deepak. Great examples. And I'm sure our viewers would have understood the power of compounding and they will utilize it to the best of advantage. Now let's move away from compounding and money matters. You are an author of multiple books. Can we talk about these books? What was the trigger for writing these books? And what has been the response of the general public to these books?
Thank you so much. it gives me a little bit to brag about myself and advertise about myself too. So
That was the
thank you.
idea.
This is my very first, yeah. So this is a physical copy of my very first book. It was released on the 20th of Jan this year, and it hit #1 bestseller on the same day. As I said a few minutes ago, a friend of mine came and said that, sir, with the vast knowledge you have, why don't you write a book? And coincidentally, around that time, there was a program from Success Gyan which did a 3-day boot camp on book writing. You know, it says when the universe wants things to happen, things just simply start falling into place. So that program happened. This guy put this thought in my mind. I started writing a book. But this is not the first book which I started writing. This is actually my second book. This is the first book which got published. So there is a very small story to that. You mentioned about the TEDx stage. So I was at the TEDx Unplugged Gateway event. Fortunately, I got a chance to speak. And I spoke on this very topic. I spoke about compounding. I shared this story. And in the audience was a person who is a video maker, and he was doing something called Best Talks. We've heard about TED Talks. We've heard about Josh Talks. This guy was doing something called Best Talks. He's a good friend of mine. He approached me, Deepak. He said, we are starting out. I listened to your TED Talk. Why don't you come and do a video with us? And we'll do it on a basis where I will not pay you anything. You don't pay me anything. Your content is good. I will do the video and the video work. Why don't you do this video for me? Went to his studio, spoke about this topic. And surprisingly, I did a 15-minute talk on this subject in a single take. I couldn't believe myself also. But because when you are passionate about something, when you like talking about what you love, it just comes out of your heart. That gave me a trigger. If I can speak on 15 minutes non-stop, for a topic, why can't I write a book? And in a few days, this book was born. So the first book which I started writing is still in the writing phase. I haven't yet completed it. But this idea of having stepped on the TEDx stage, given a talk, made a video out of it, resulted in a book which became the #1 bestseller. And once you've written something, then there is always that urge to do that thing again. And coincidentally, as you know, you are also the co-author of Revive and Thrive. I am also there, lucky to be there. A collaboration of 50 international authors from India, Singapore, and Australia happened. And the second ebook happened. That is again going on to become a bestseller. I also have 1 or 2 few ebooks which I have written, which I share only in my program. So these are not for sale. I did a book on behavioral finance, which I shared with attendees who attended my behavioral finance program. I'm in the process of writing a few more niche books, special, not for sale, but for all those people who attend my program. So that's my book journey.
That's nice, Deepak. That's nice. Quite inspiring. Apart from this, your presence on the social media is remarkably consistent. The consistency of your posting across different platforms is the envy of many, including me. How do you ensure such remarkable consistency?
So the fact that I'm speaking about compounding, and if I do not do that on a regular basis, it is like, shame to me. But let me tell you how it happened. So I was there 2 years ago in a mentorship class. And that person who was our mentor, who was teaching us, he said, you do a video for us on what you learned in this program. There was a 3-day program, and every day at the end of the day, you had to do a video. So, and there was obviously a catch, there was a carrot. The best video would get a free copy of the book and this and that. So being somebody who likes challenges and being somebody who loves to come first, the habit since childhood, since school days, just stood in front of the mobile camera and recorded a video and put it out on the first day. Next day, no wonder you get an award for putting out the best video. So I put out these 3 videos. And after the program ended, I said, when I can put out 3 videos for somebody else, why can't I do it for myself? I gave myself a target. I will do 1 video every day for the next 365 days on a topic on personal finance, which is again very dear to my heart. I'm happy to share my YouTube channel has got 400 videos live. All videos are of 2 minutes duration. Each video is on a topic of personal finance. And that is what I did it, giving a challenge to myself. So that is about YouTube and recording videos. Again, I'm also very active on Facebook, Twitter, and also on LinkedIn. So Twitter is another story which I would like to share. So we were in a conference, and it was a personal. You mentioned that I have been part of a few conferences in the BFSI space, and there was a challenge that day. That the person who tweets maximum from morning to evening will get a special prize. So have never done that before. Had a mobile phone in my hand. Started from the morning, and by evening, there were more than 250 tweets. And there are people who tell me that your eye and hand coordination is very fast. I don't know how it happens. There's probably a natural gift. But by the time the speaker has, even finished speaking, my tweet is ready and I have tweeted it. This happened for 2 or 3 events, and suddenly people on Twitter started following me. Because this was happening in the physical space, I am attending a physical conference, and I'm putting out, minute by minute, second by second tweets. People used to say, no problem. I know if I cannot attend the conference, I will follow you on Twitter, and I will get up-to-date information of what is being said by the speaker and on what topic is happening. So in the last 6 or 8 conferences which I have attended many, and in every conference I have been the Twitter prize winner. In sometimes you get books, sometimes you get mobile phones. Sometimes now what people have understood is this guy is giving us a lot of visibility. So for a lot of BFSI conferences now I get invited for free. They know he will come and tweet and we will get a lot of exposure. And again, it is something. Once you start doing something, it becomes a passion. You want to do it and then you keep on doing it. And as you know, it's compounding. So the effect of compounding always comes. That's how I do it.
Great consistency. Great work. As far as your videos that you mentioned, 400 videos daily in the morning. We used to look forward to seeing your 2 minutes ka video. All of them used to be on a topical financial thing. Thanks for that. Knowing about this, will you please let us know how is it that you structure your day for this remarkable consistency?
Good question. Good question. I am actually somebody who doesn't plan. I talk about the financial planning. I tell to people to follow a plan, but I am a little haphazard in my own space. So they kehte na chirag chale andhera. So I am one of those things. So good question. So when I started my this video challenge which I gave myself, there were times I remember I posted one video at 10:30 in the night. 10:30. Because through the morning you were somewhere place and raat ko yaad hai video nahi kiya. There are times when I was traveling, I was somewhere else. I recorded a video in a train. I recorded a video at the airport at 6 o'clock in the morning. It wasn't that what I used to do is record 10 videos and then release one every day. It used to be spur of the moment. Arey, aaj ka video, ye topic hai, let's talk on this. So I am a little haphazard, but I tend to miss a lot of things which I plan. First of all, I don't plan. And very honestly speaking, I should not be saying this on camera, but a little haphazard. So that's the way I am. And I love the way I am. So that's the way it is.
We love you for that. A last question before I hand it over to the to Jaya and the audience that we have for their questions. What is it that you would like to be remembered? Your legacy.
Wow. I'm 53 years old now. I want to live till 80. So I can decide by my legacy. By the you meet in our friends which I have made in the last year. There is this one thing which I always get to hear from them, especially from people I meet the first time. By the end of the day, they will come and meet me and tell me, what energy, where do you get this energy from? Now, I also don't know where I get the energy from, and I don't even know if I'm an energetic person or not. But probably that's the way I am, that's the way I am built. So that's the way you are born, or that's the way you molded yourself to be. So I love to give.
Deepak seems to be having some network issues.
Doubt?
So Premraj, this is a risk.
Yeah, this is a risk. Yeah.
So how
Let's
do you
hope it doesn't get compounded.
No. So
He'll
how,
come
how
back.
do
He'll come back.
Yeah, he'll come back.
Well, we can have someone else talk if they want to.
Just check out on the chat, Jaya, because this is the last question I had. So we can look on the chat, and if anyone has any questions, either they put it on the chat.
Prem,
Yeah.
Suresh here.
Yeah, Suresh.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, just I mean, if you can ask a question that does the stock market impact him in any way? If stock market fall, I'm talking about, or volatile stock market, does it impact him in any way? Because when we talk about financial planning, generally it's a long-term planning. We say compounding or whatever it is.
Right, right.
But the stock market impact is so sudden that it brings you down to great extent. So does it impact him? That's the question.
Let him come
If
back.
you can ask, if you can ask.
So I can attempt to answer this. Maybe he'll give a different perspective. But when the stock market falls down, you can just say one is psychologically when it crashes, it has a huge psychological impact. And if people have lost their wealth, and especially the market, if you see 95% of the market is comprised of traders. They are not investors. So it doesn't impact an investor, but the trader who's doing futures and options, especially the derivative segment, and who lives on margins or who lives on day trading, that guy is finished. And if he moves out of the market, the depth in the equity market is only due to FNO. So the volumes which are there are purely due to FNO. And then there's a huge market also which runs on loan against shares or overdraft against shares. So if the market volume falls, then your eligibility also goes down. The second is you'll require to keep a lot of margin, so you'll need money. And if you don't have that money, the shares will be sold off, which will trigger a further collapse. So it doesn't impact an investor at all, because an investor stays put. In fact, an investor, when there is a fall, he will look for good shares available at bargain prices and he'll invest more. Now, one of the fundamental rules of equity investing is don't double your investment. And if you have taken it and if it has fallen and if it's a bad share somehow, don't, in a falling market, don't try to average it out. So there will be various impacts which will have an investor. Let's say if he has invested in a blue chip like maybe an HDFC Bank or an ITC or a TCS or an Infosys, he'll just be unaffected by any of the fall in equity prices. Yes, if you have invested in some companies which are all the which you call the small sized companies which are basically operator driven or basically fundamentally not very strong with a strong management, obviously there you have to fear. Simple. Investor need not fear.
True, very true.
Because the markets from about 12,000 peak Nifty came down to 7,600. They are again back to 11,300. So they've almost recovered, except for about 15%. They are just quite back to where they were, and where we are nowhere as far as the virus is concerned. We have nowhere reached our peak where we will reach. And our economy is down. So you had even the finance minister making a statement that the equity markets are no way reflective of your fundamentals of the economy. And where our economy is projected at worst to even drop down to a 10% contraction over last year. The RBI has said that the NPAs of banks from 8.5 may rise to 14.5 at worst. So that's almost a 60% jump in gross NPAs over a year. At the worst case scenario. In such a scenario, if the markets are buoyant, it's only because of availability of excess liquidity in the system and because of all the easy monetary policies which have been let loose all over the world by the governments. So it's all the fiscal stimulus which is given. That's the result. So
Deepak has come back.
Further, yeah. So let Deepak answer.
Yeah. Glad to be back.
Yeah.
No, this is how manifestation works. Before the meeting, you thought that if this happens, then this may happen, and it actually happened.
Any questions, Jaya?
So far, we don't have any questions, but people,
So
please feel free to ask any questions if you may have for Deepak ji.
No, but Deepak, you can answer the question of Suresh, no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what was the question?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't get it.
Suresh,
So
would
the
you mind
question
repeating?
was,
Yeah.
the
Can
question
I
was,
ask question again?
is an
Please,
investor
please.
impacted by the fall in equity prices?
Yeah.
Okay.
Deepak,
So
yeah.
good question. Yeah. Tell me, please go ahead. Tell me.
Yeah, Deepak sir, this was my same question that I'm saying that we talk about power of compounding, but typically in a stock market, when the fall happens, suddenly there is a huge movement, and it's a question
Yeah.
of balancing your mind as well as your finances. So I'm saying that does it impact
Yes.
you anyway, or do you advise same thing? Don't worry, I'm there.
Fantastic. Superb question. I'd love to answer this. So let me start from the very beginning. So let's talk about the market. When we say market today, we say the Sensex is at 38,000, right? The Sensex is a collection of 30 companies, and these are supposed to reflect the economic condition of the country. These are representative of different sectors of the economy. The Sensex started in 1979, and on that day, the value was 100. So let's make it very simple. You invested 100 rupees in the Sensex in 1979, and your 100 rupees today, after those 41 years, has grown to 38,000 rupees. If I average it out, it has given you a CAGR of approximately 13.5%, which means if you would have done nothing, just let your 100 rupees be there and grow, it would have grown at a rate of 13.5%, 14%, but never in a straight line. There were times when it went up, then it went down, went up again, and when it went down. Abhijit was explaining just 6 months ago, the Sensex had fallen to around 27, 28, 26,000, 27,000. In 6 months, the Sensex has moved up from 26 to 38,000. We are close to a 50% return in 6 months. Did anybody know we are going to get this 50%? No. Did I know? No. All those who in the market say, see, I told you, they are just talking in hindsight. Nobody knows. What is important is this. If you have invested in an asset class, give it time. And if that asset class is volatile, if it has given you returns which are above your expectation, let's say you are expecting a 12% return, and with that logic, I don't know whether we have time or not. Let me take 1 minute and tell you. One of the rules of compounding is the rule of 72. If you know the rule of 72, it says that if you know in how many years your investment is going to double, you can find out the interest rate. So let's say your investment doubles in 6 years. Investment doubles in 6 years. Divide 72 by 6. Your answer is 12%, right? This is the rule of 72. So if you are expecting a 12% return, it will take you 6 years to double. If you invested in the market and if your investment doubled in 2 years or maybe even 3 years, why wait for those 6 years? Take your money out of that investment class in that first 3 years itself. Take the profits home, rebalance it, put it somewhere else where it will not grow as fast. There will come a time when the market will fall. Take that money out, put it back into the market. This is called asset allocation or asset rebalancing. If you follow this procedure, compounding is assured, rebalance, get a good advisor, and stay in the market. I don't know if I have answered your question, but if I have, you can tell me. If there is any other question, I'm open.
Thank you, Deepak. Wonderfully answered.
I have a
And,
question.
Thank you.
fantastic
I have a
session. Thank you.
question. So, Deepak, can I ask?
Thank you.
So, Deepak, can I ask?
Please.
So one in this scenario,
Oh, yes, please.
where inflation is rising, where you have bank fixed deposits at about 6%, you have maybe PPF also coming down, and technically gold being very volatile, real estate also falling down. Even your SIP is not very safe with Franklin, everybody is scared. And equity markets are also volatile. So I would not say a mutual fund also is a very safe, because I have tracked the mutual fund return. And if you see now, the mutual funds have given almost the same return as a fixed deposit. if you take fixed deposit at 8% or something, which was there earlier, if you would have locked in for 5 years, then the markets have fallen now, though they may have increased. There are very few scripts which have increased, and mutual funds haven't given that growth. So equities have gone up 50%, mutual funds value in NAV would have gone up by 10% or something. So a senior citizen, what should he ideally invest, and what would you advise somebody with maybe a corpus of 1 crore plus? So where should he, because earlier he was getting at least about 8 lakhs of rupees and 65,000 to meet him. Suddenly he's from that 65 is down to about 50,000 or less. And how would he manage in such a scenario? So a balanced portfolio which could give some idea.
Fantastic. Superb.
I was in continuation to Abhijit.
Superb.
Kamal here.
Yeah.
This is exact question I have in mind, that what is in the current state the formula or the mix of the investment one should look at, be it equity, mutual fund, gilt fund, or
fine.
What should be the mix?
I was.
In a current scenario, what should be the mix one should look at? And
safe also, relatively safe. Yeah.
No, even if I say that it is 15%, I would say the ROI, return on investment, is 15%. If I do the calculation on the corpus which I require with the objective which I have defined it, at this point of time, what should be the mix of investment?
Is Deepak there, or we've lost him?
I think we lost him, I guess.
We lost him again.
So just to continue in this, 15% ROI is quite high. 15%, if the highest safe tax-free ROI is what you get in a PPF. I don't think the rate.
No, that is right. So that's what it is like.
7.5%. So 15% ROI you may still get. So I think the safest investment is you take your blue chips like maybe a Larsen and Toubro or HDFC. So the BSE 30 Sensex may you take the top 5 scripts by market caps here, Reliance, a Larsen Toubro, a ITC, and maybe ICICI Bank. And maybe when the markets are really down at the depths, maybe selectively invest
why
put it. I think that will be the best way I would look at it.
Why I'm saying is 15%. The horizon is not 2 or 3 years. It's a 10-year. It's a 10-year horizon.
So that's what Deepak has said. Sensex may have seen various ups and downs. So Satyam crash it would have fallen down. In the Harshat Mehta scam, it would have fallen down. In the Ketan Parekh case, the Nifty would have fallen down. But it's still given and compounding of 13% over the last, when it's to 100, say, when it's now. So 13% rate on Nifty has obviously given. Now, if you take a mutual fund, I would say they would cut their expenses. So mutual fund, a consistent mutual fund may still give a 8 or 9% CAGR over your horizon. But I still believe the blue chip of the blue chips, if you have the risk appetite, in a very volatile market, like something happened at 7,600, you still didn't know where it, because people were predicting when it's 7,600 Nifty, it will go to 6,000 also. So you just, but when you have selected your 5 top scripts where you want to invest and you have faith in, then irrespective of the market fall, so if you have 100 rupees to invest 25 rupees and spread it over 5 scripts, 5, 5, 5. That I would say is when I advise as a chartered accountant, not as a financial planner. One is to put eggs in one basket, look long term, study the scripts which are so fundamental that if this company, what I call too big to fail, if this company was to fall, then technically you have India failing. It's not if I say a Reliance, HDFC Bank, your ITC and L&T, if they fail, then India is also dead. So
absolutely.
The point is, invest in bluest of the blue chips which have the ability to withstand any storm, and then wait. And then if it falls further, invest further. If it rises, anyway you have reaped in the benefits. And just be patient. I think that's what one needs to do. I think there's very little one can do. And there's one thing which is said about the markets or everything, is that everything goes up has to come down. That's Newton's law of gravity.
Yeah. There is a cycle for every. There is a cycle for every.
Yes. and a human greed will always push the prices up. So this will keep on happening. You just need to ride those waves, like you're doing some water surfing or something. So you'll go up, you'll go down, but stay put. Simple.
So this is undoubtedly, for being safe. I'm saying there are scripts, there are stocks which are really growing at a high double digit. So the judgment of those scripts, when I say 15%, I'm looking at an advice wherein all those technical parameters have been studied for the organization. Looking at from the equity point of view, the trends have been studied, whether the candlesticks have been studied well, and then the recommendation which has come to which has come to to give, because it's equity only which can give you high double digits, with be it mutual fund or any gilt fund
nobody
or
will
any
do
other
so
DPI,
direct.
you will not get it. So the mix, when you decide it, I probably can decide a mix of 60% of equity and 20% of my mutual fund, and balance 20% to the gilt or this PPF and all. So this mixed percentage wherein equity, if the suggestion is of the scripts is good in a high double digits, can probably give an weighted average of 15%.
So
Is it what the advice?
It's not just equity. So you take gold. Just before
Yeah, gold is now performing. It is the reverse of that. So I mean, I've been fond of accumulating the bonds and this. So this time it has really got favored. But if I look at 10 years back, the situation was not as good as it was now. So it's luck or the circumstances.
So you may not know the right time to buy and right time to sell.
Yeah.
Gold about 6 months back was hovering at about its 40s. It touched about 58, and from 58 it's down to 53. So somebody who would have now when gold was 58,000, people were saying it will easily cross 60. It's a matter of time, it will be 65. Now when people say that this will cross something much higher, then I believe, by experience, maybe I may be wrong, but it's the time to sell at least 20% of your portfolio and then again buy. So somebody would have sold gold at
5 years
and
ago,
again bought it back at, would have still got 10% straight.
I bought it at 30,000, 31,000. So I was never expecting these numbers to come up, even of the calculation or the predictions one thought of. But yes, it has performed. So the whole idea for taking an advice, which is, to have what mix one should have it. That was the first question, which I said that equity should be what. And when you pick up the equity, which all scripts which can give a high growth, so that the overall objective of 15% can be met.
Agree. So it's the case with crude also. Crude was at one point of time $100 a barrel. It came down to 30. When it was 100, people said it'll go to 200. So people just speculate, people panic. And I believe that's the point when people are panicking, and when it's already gone high and they're predicting it will go higher. I believe that's the time to shave off a part of your portfolio and then maybe buy it back when the prices again are borderline. I believe this again may not be the right time to buy equity because it's already bounced back. Maybe obviously there'll be some correction. Maybe that could be a right time to enter in maybe about 20% of your portfolio back again.
Vijay, Deepak is back.
Sure. Yeah. So Deepak, take over.
Thank you. Thank you. So interesting discussion. So yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah, we have a question here from Rajan Umralkar. He says, Deepak, various media reports India GDP is at worst contraction at 23.9%. Does the GDP affect the compounding effect to an investor?
Yes, fantastic question. So just before I was able to answer the previous question, I think I got cut off and I heard a part of the discussion. All I can say is, remember the power of 5. Power of, maybe first word power. Power of 5. हाथ में 5 उंगली है. And overall in the world, there are basically 5 asset classes. 5 asset classes. There is cash, which is there always available in your hand. There is debt and bonds. इसमें non-convertible debenture, PPF, जो तुम्हारा बैंक fixed deposit सब कुछ आ गया. There is equity. There is commodities, precious metal, or आजकल Bitcoin, but we'll not talk about that. Basically, whenever you are talking about an investment portfolio, अगर हाथ में 5 नहीं होंगी, your hand will not have that much effect, that much power. So wherever your money is, See to it that it is never 100% in cash, never 100% in equity, never 100% in gold. Money everywhere and take a round figure calculation of the total return. ऐसा नहीं बोलो इस साल मेरे को इक्विटी ने अच्छा किया इसीलिए इक्विटी साल अच्छा है, नेक्स्ट ईयर पीपीएफ ने अच्छा किया इसीलिए पीपीएफ अच्छा है. Have a little bit how much where that advisor can sit down with you and decide. Have a little bit everywhere. Senior citizen के लिए आज के लिए बेस्ट ऑप्शन अगर 1 करोड़ रुपया है तो first put 15 lakh rupees in the senior citizen savings scheme of the bank/post office. That assures you 7.6% payable quarterly for 5 years, extendable for another 3 years. So you are assured of 7.6% for the next 8 years. Put the next 15 lakhs in LIC's Prime Minister Vaya Vandana Yojana. Say 15 lakh.
Again gone.
It's lost.
Deepak has told us 30 lakhs how to invest. This is not my subject. I can generally brainstorm on strategy, but specific implementation, Deepak is the right guy. And if I may not know 15 lakhs here, 15 lakhs here. Deepak is back.
We were about on the climax.
Yes. Deepak was giving his blueprint. 1 crore है तो कहाँ invest करने का? So पहला question है how to make 1 crore. I think Deepak should take one session on how to make 1 crore in the first instance.
30 lakhs.
So 30% he has covered.
No, LIC, what he said, I missed that. First was senior citizen scheme is fine. LIC, he said something. Yeah, Deepak, you're back.
I really don't know. The day you are talking and answering people's questions, the internet decides कि नहीं इसको आज बंद कर. So 15 lakh rupees in the bank, 15 lakh rupees in the bank / post office scheme, 15 lakh rupees in LIC's Prime Minister Vaya Vandana Yojana, 7.4% monthly assured for the next 10 years. Or if you take it yearly, it is 7.6. No brainer hai. So if there are 2 people in the house, 15 lakh on your father / whoever is a senior citizen, 15 lakh rupees on your wife. Post office may 15 / bank may 15. So the total of 30 lakhs over there, 30 lakhs over here in LIC. 1 crore में से 60 lakh you are assured that you will get 7.6% for the next 8 years and 10 years. ज़्यादा सोचने का नहीं. पहले ये complete करो. Obviously, also if you are a senior citizen, there is some sort of either pension which you are getting from the government, or you have some pension from whatever is coming to you in your organization. One, for all those who did not have this, PPF is the best option. You obviously have accumulated 1.5 lakhs every year in PPF. I know people who are my clients whose PPF has been running for the last 30 years. They've got 1 crore plus in their PPF account, which is giving them 7.1% tax free. उसमें से 1% हर साल हर महीने निकालो. From 1 crore, you can keep on withdrawing 1 lakh rupees every day, and technically it will continue forever. Technically, there is a calculation. It can continue for the next 30 years. So if you have planned well, it is not difficult. However, point is taken. GDP is not doing too well. Interest rates are down. If GDP is not doing well, stock markets will definitely not do well. Easy money, Abhijit was talking about. There is a lot of cash money printing happening in the Western world. That money is chasing assets. Part of that money is coming to India. That is why we have got 50% returns in the last 6 months. Anybody expecting markets to do a lot in the next 2 or 3 years is living in la la land. Stock markets are probably fully priced. You have to be careful if you are entering now. And if you are a senior citizen, you have to be more careful. But that does not take away from the fact that a part of your portfolio, depending on how much your advisor and you decide it together, definitely needs to have equity exposure. You cannot do without it.
Yeah.
Our next session to be first is how to earn that 1 crore. That's the $1 million question.
Fantastic question. Let me give you a personal example. Actually, I should not be sharing this, but let me give you a personal example. Somebody in our family had a child who was born 23 years ago. Diligently, that person in his daughter's name has been investing from the day that child was born. In those days, PPF limit was 70,000 rupees. Slowly, it went up to 1 lakh. Today, it is 1.5 lakh. In 23 years, with taking zero risk, a 50 lakh corpus is already built up. 50 lakh, 23-year-old child. क्योंकि उसके पेरेंट ने विदाउट टेकिंग अ रिस्क जिस दिन से पैदा हुई थी उसके नाम पे पीपीएफ अकाउंट खोला और हर साल जितना अलाउड था. I did the calculation. They have invested approximately 20 lakhs. That 20 lakh is today 50 lakhs. 50 lakhs. Take the power of compounding. In the next 10 years, it will become 1 crore. So if you even take a 7% interest and if you can put 15,000 rupees every month with zero risk, forget SIP, forget mutual fund, forget stocks, forget economy, forget GDP. By the time you are 30, 35, 1 crore rupees तैयार हो जाएगा. By the time you retire, it will become 15 or 20, maybe even 30 crores. So, रास्ता है, दिखता है, लोग follow नहीं करते. Get a good advisor, stay the course, let the compounding do its job. Imagine PPF का इस साल जिसका 50 lakh rupees का corpus है, on 7%, next year उसको सिर्फ 3.5 लाख रुपया tax free interest मिलने वाला है. Tax free interest 3.5 lakhs in a year by doing nothing. Power of compounding.
Thank you.
Great. So as of now, we don't see any more questions. I'll just.
If we have five more minutes, do we have 5 minutes? I just want to share one part more about the power of compounding.
Definitely.
Fantastic. So I would like people to read my book. This is one chapter of the book, but again, this is something which I had not known until I started writing the book. So a few years ago, there was a book which came out. The book's title was 10,000 Hours. 10,000 Hours by Malcolm Gladwell. It's a New York Times bestseller, and Malcolm Gladwell is a multiple times New York Times bestseller author. And I want all of us to take this 10,000 hours and just put it into this head over here. It says, if you want to become an expert at anything, it takes you 10,000 hours. Let's see whether this is true or not and whether it actually works or not. Our schooling system is how many years? 1 to 10? 10 years? Let's keep the kindergarten and nursery out. 10 years. 10 years, एक साल में 365 days है. How many days do we work in school? Go to school. 200 days a year. Take out 52 Saturdays, 52 Sundays plus vacations and holidays. 165 days हटा दो. You got only 200 days. 5 hours a day for 200 days. एक साल में कितने hours होते हैं? 1000 hours. From first standard to 10th standard, it takes you 10,000 hours. Malcolm Gladwell says that I have checked all the most successful people in the world. For them to have become successful, they have spent 10,000 hours in their art, in their craft, in their profession, for them to get where they have reached. And he gives examples. He says, Microsoft Bill Gates. Bill Gates is the richest person in the world. He said during his school days, he was lucky to go into a private school which had a computer when the world even did not know what computers were. He used to go to his computer lab in his school days, work on that computer, spend hours and hours and hours. Before he came out of college, he had spent 10,000 hours on computers. That is why he became Bill Gates of Microsoft. He gives the example of Tesla. Everybody talks of Tesla. Everybody talks of Elon Musk. During his school days and college days, this guy used to read 2 books every day. 2 books every day for a number of years. By the time he came out, he got that seed funding and then put money into Tesla. We all know what Tesla is. For an athlete to represent his country in the Olympics, can somebody say, I'm 21 years old, let me start doing track and field events and in the next 1 year, I will represent my country? No. The world's greatest athletes, the world's greatest tennis players, the world's greatest competitors, whoever has reached anywhere, it has taken them a minimum of 10,000 hours to perfect their practice. And I think if we put it on to ourselves also, we will find there is a popular saying which goes, it says, To become an overnight success, it takes you minimum 10 years. It takes a decade to become an overnight success. Take that decade out, you will get 10,000 hours. Is 10,000 hours sacrosanct? No. What it is you have to give time to whatever you're doing. Another word for the power of compounding. For compounding to take effect, whatever you are doing, whether it be money, whether it be health, whether it be exercise, whether it be relationships, wherever, without compounding, if you don't give it time, nothing will happen. So there is this example. There was a father who wanted to teach his son the power of compounding. So he planted a seed, and they used to water it regularly. One day, after a few months, when the seed had already sprouted and a small plant was growing up, this man told his son, I'm going out for a few months. All I want you to do is to take care of this plant. See to it that everything is okay. You give it water, with plant, see it is growing. After a few months, this father came back and he saw that plant had died. He told his son, what happened? I told you to check on this plant, see to it, it gets water. The son said, you told me to check. Every day I used to uproot this small plant from the ground, see how many roots have grown, and then I used to put it back. Every day. Will the plant die? Obviously, yes. Whatever you are giving to, if you are putting money in the stock market, don't check your values daily. If you are if you are on a weight loss program, don't check your weight daily. You will never lose weight. Whatever you want to achieve, keep on doing it, give it time. Over a period, it is going to happen. The power of compounding will see to it that you succeed. Thank you. You know, Rajan, as speakers, we love to talk. So if you give us an opportunity, we will keep on talking.
Yeah, I know. But it's a very good example. You have really given such a beautiful way to understand the concept of compounding. Really beautiful. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Thank you, Rajan,
So I'll
for
wind up
being
now.
there, tuning in and asking questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deepak, thank you for your time. The concept of compounding will now be ingrained in our minds. We will spread the word around to ensure others also imbibe the eighth wonder of the world.
Yes.
Your smile is infectious. Smile, please. With compounding properties.
Yeah.
Thank you for being in our proximity and enriching our lives. Thank you and good night. And thanks to all the participants. We loved your presence here. And tomorrow we'll be having another session wherein there will be an Air Force squadron leader who will be talking about the LGBT community. Please join him. And Deepak, thank you once again.
Thank you for having me over here. Thank you for all those who joined in, gave their time, asked the question. It is an absolute honor and a pleasure to be on this platform. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Deepak ji, Premraj ji, and each one of you who is here today with us. We have some beautiful comments coming in wherein people are thanking you. Ayana Hegde says, thank you for a wonderful session. Rena says, thank you, it was powerful. Vijaya Kuti says, thank you so much, Deepak sir. The information was extremely useful. Thank you, Prem sir. Abhay says, very useful session. We have Ashutosh says, valuable golden nuggets from King of Compounding. Wow. Mr. Venkatachenalu says, practice makes you perfect. Absolutely. Suman Sirohia says, superb, Deepak. Then we also have Rajanji. He says, Deepak, where is media? Okay, this is the question he had asked. And Ashalata ji says, examples were so apt. So I'm so glad that this session has added value to all our viewers. And viewers, thank you so much for being part of this, being here with us today and participating so much and, helping us to get through this uncertain network issues that kept coming and going. But your patience and your love has really, made this session so successful and helpful. So thank you once again, Deepak ji. Like Premraji says, your smile indeed is infectious. Like when I see your pictures also on the tel, you have a beautiful smile, and I'm so glad we get to see it often. Thank you, Premraji, for bringing in such beautiful speakers and such insightful sessions that we are doing. I'm very glad. Thank you, everybody, and we'll meet up tomorrow again. And it's an extremely good session which we are expecting again. So be there, and I'll see you tomorrow. Signing off from Power Up. In case you might like to join Power Up or get some details, please connect with me. I have put my contact details in the chat. Thank you. See you. Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.